From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, October the 12th, 2023. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Israel today to show the strong support of the United States after the brutal Hamas attack on southern Israel on Saturday. Blinken met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and in a joint press conference shared how this visit to Israel was also a personal one.
If you'll permit me, personal aside, I come before you not only as the United States Secretary of State, but also as a Jew. My grandfather, Maurice Blinken, fled pogroms in Russia. My stepfather, Samuel Pizar, survived concentration camps, Auschwitz, Dachau, Majdanek. So, Prime Minister, I understand on a personal level the harrowing echoes that Hamas's massacres carry for Israeli Jews, indeed, for Jews everywhere.
Blinken also reiterated the firm position of the U.S. for the security of the State of Israel.
The message that I bring to Israel is this: you may be strong enough on your own to defend yourself, but as long as America exists, you will never ever have to. We will always be there by your side.
Blinken said the first shipments of U.S. military support have already arrived in Israel, and more is on the way. As Israel's defense needs evolve, he said, we will work with Congress to make sure that they are met, adding that there is overwhelming bipartisan support in our Congress for Israel's security. The Secretary of State reiterated the strong condemnation of Hamas, saying there is no excuse, there is no justification for these atrocities. This must be a moment for moral clarity. Blinken also praised what he called the remarkable solidarity and bravery of Israelis and welcomed the creation of Israel's new national emergency government, and he said the unity and resolve that it reflects across Israeli society. Blinken took part in an expanded meeting with the wartime government, sitting down with Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, National Unity Chairman Benny Gantz, General Gadi Eisenkot, and Prime Minister Netanyahu. He also met with Israel's President Isaac Herzog. And the Secretary of State sadly had to update today that at least 25 U.S. citizens were among those murdered by Hamas, and U.S. citizens, as we have reported to you, are among those being held by the terror group. According to Hebrew media, the total death toll as it stands now in Israel has passed a devastating 1,300 people. Soldiers, police officers, men, women, children, babies. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi made his first public statement since Hamas's slaughter on Saturday, saying the IDF is responsible for the security of the state and its civilians, and on Saturday morning in the area near the Gaza Strip, we did not achieve it. We will learn and analyze what happened, but now is the time for war. Reassuring that at this difficult time, I want you to know that the IDF is here, the defending force of the State of Israel, and vowing to do everything possible to return the hostages being held by Hamas. Today, Israel's coordinator for the captives and missing, Brigadier General retired Gal Hirsch, met with Deputy U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs Stephen Gillen, who came specially to Israel, the Prime Minister's office said. He updated him on the current situation, briefed him on the range of steps and efforts that Israel is taking. Gillen, the office said, underscored the steadfast commitment of the U.S. to the security of Israel and to the return of the captives, saying he was at the disposal of the State of Israel and would do everything necessary to help it. Meanwhile, rocket sirens continued to blare across southern Israel today, sending residents running for shelter. It is unclear if there were any impacts. The IDF continued to strike terror targets in Gaza, hitting, it said, command and control targets, strategic military infrastructures, munitions, production sites, intelligence assets, leadership targets, naval superiority targets, and rocket array targets. And today, the IDF said it eliminated a commander of Hamas and a group of operatives who stayed with him and engaged in directing terrorism against the State of Israel. And during Secretary of State Blinken's visit to Israel today, he also visited a donation center in Tel Aviv for the victims of Hamas's terrorist attack, where Blinken said, "We are inspired by the solidarity of the Israeli people." Those working at the center and those coming to donate broke out in song during the visit, singing Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tsar me'od. The whole world is a narrow bridge. V'ha'ikar lo lefached klal. And the main thing is to not be afraid. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, October the 12th. Coming up at 7, Rabbi Becher speaks about the situation in Israel. At 7:30, a war briefing from FIDF Live. At 8, Shahar Azani sits with Yuval Elbashan about the judicial overhaul. At 9, Aryeh Green is on L'chaim. At 10, I speak with John Kirby, National Security Council Coordinator for Strategic Communications at the White House, and others on the situation in Israel. At 10:30, a replay of FIDF Live. And coming up next, as Israel is battling Hamas in Gaza, Shahar Azani speaks to Sarit Zehavi, founder and CEO of Alma Research and Education Center in northern Israel. She shares her feelings at this horrible time and analyzes the volatile situation up north and the possible escalation. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, October the 12th, 2023. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.